Morning, Reverend Ed Trevors from Wee Ridge NC, Rosamond, California. How you doing, Rev? It's 1:42 in the morning, West Coast time for Friday, the 5th of April, 2024. Yeah, still having conniption fits. Not about the politics these days, even though I could go try and go nuke on that one. I already got my videos on that one, but I reacted a hell of a lot of depression when it came down for the Taiwanese earthquake. It's been almost about several days now on that one. That wasn't bad enough. I saw a chain store going under. Economic reasons, shrinkage reasons, COVID, this and that. The company had been out there for about 30, almost 40 years, roughly. You ever heard of the 99 cents only stores? It's like the cheapest places you could get your cheap food if they hadn't been expired or not. Or little gimcracks or goodies that you eat. Maybe you get some cheap ass Halloween costumes or Christmas decorations or stuff like that. And those eras and those time zones. Yeah, a lot of memories on that one there, Rev. If you've been watching the channel maybe once or twice, you've seen how my camera angle is and how I keep the memorial here. My mother had a thing for sugar cookies, wafers, peanut butter she loved mostly. She tried to eat the sugar-free stuff. Times she liked the sugar, but she needed to eat the sugar-free, being diabetic as she was. And she'd eat the strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. But so would I. And a long while ago, we did shopping in the stores. And for other things, besides doing a run for my mother's cookies and her excessive appetite for it. I'd go to Trader Joe's. No, not Trader Joe's. Wasn't Trader Joe's. Smart and Final. Get pomelos for her. She ate the wrong stuff that would freak out the damn doctors like crazy. It's things in places like this are kind of putting me into like an emotional headlock on this one. I know I've been going off the deep end concerning about my spiritual quest for answers for the universe. I'm scared that the universe is not exactly forthcoming with one person's demand of it. I know some things they just have to let go. And other things still haunt me to this day. I said something about the Taiwanese earthquake. The videos I've been talking about, the previous ones, actually the recent ones, were talking about being triggered and how sometimes I get scared of it. Maybe I've allowed too much power into it. It drives me nuts on that one. I know what living through a natural disaster terror is like. And almost through humanity's terror. One second, hang on. Yeah, sorry about that. Uh, People can go through a human caused terror, and that'll definitely leave just as a mark as a natural one. Some people actually like that kind of feeling. It drives me nuts when they go through that kind of stuff. For me, I don't like it. I don't like going through that kind of stuff. I grew up Southern California. It's my home. I'm a native. What can I say about it? Do the best I can for it. And when I had gone through a lot of earthquakes these days, it's just makes me feel even worse. 7.4 is nothing to sneeze at, Rev. It's nothing to sneeze at. I'm not quite sure if you guys get any of it. But I'll tell you one thing. You wouldn't want to go through it. At least you can see the storms coming in. You know that that kind of change is happening. But when it comes down for a geologic event that affects both tidal as well as land, if you know the thunderstorms are coming and you can see the lightning, you know you have to duck for cover and stay away from trees because it's a high point and trees have a tendency of not absorbing the lightning and just having it redirected into people or things. Zap! Split apart or blow apart. We see that happen out here in the Southland, out here in California. But you know that if you're in a building, you got a chance of surviving the damn things. You see it coming. The earthquake, you don't. Sudden earth shifting left and right. We're not even up on that specs where we have the Star Trek scanners to see the stuff happening, you know. And if we did, maybe we would have been able to avoid the stuff left and right. One of the previous videos that you were talking about, trying to forgive and absorb the Trump's supporters back into the fold once Trump leaves the supporters alone for one reason or another. You heard about Representative Lauren Boebert of Republican Colorado rep? She had to have major surgery, get rid of blood clots, guessing in her groin area. The problem is, in a certain medical condition she had or she developed over there, blood clots would be very, very dangerous, life-threatening. I've heard some of the independents on the social media, even on YouTube, laughing their asses off, but some of them are actually, they laughed their asses off before they heard the news, and then when they heard the news, it's like, oh. And I know some of the people are going to be like, why are you doing that? Because I felt for the woman. In one way, I think that was the most human thing to do is, despite the fact she's got one screwed up brain and screwed up personality, you still have to feel for the lady because she's human. Because she's going through a hell of a lot of stuff. Yeah. I read about that blood clot situation. I wouldn't put that on anybody these days. Despite the fact that she may be a bit screwed up in the head with her thinking and her opinions. And it's a constant thing on YouTube these days, on the social media, is all this crap going on. The bickering back and forth to see whether or not we're actually going to be surviving or not. I don't know how many people are going to be talking to you about this one and trying to make their political points on this one here, Rev. It's a hell of a lot. Sorry for putting the baggage on you, Bill. One way for me trying to get rid of, trying to stay away from this stuff for a while was watching old MASH stories. The comedy MASH TV series lasted about 11 seasons. Even that got to me. Even that got to me. It's not the jokes. Seriousness. It's not just the medical. It's the kind of crap that they're going through, that the characters are going through. They're in Korea, in a war-torn area, and they have to deal with their own feelings, but everyone else's injuries on the outside, not to mention on the inside. For a comedy series, they tried to make it light, but in the end, my head tries to wrap around that. It's been trying to make sense out of a few things here and there. What I'm seeing people talking about left and right. You talk about Voyage of the Damned. No, Voyage of the Land of the Lost, basically. Wasn't there a phrase or a saying somewhere there about the one-eyed man being king in a world of land of blind people? The sighted man is king at this point over here. Yeah. I don't think people have realized how lost they are in sight. I'm still hearing some of their reactions from everybody else these days, trying to figure stuff out and trying to make their political bones at this point. Makes me feel a lot more older than I look. I said it before. History, history, history. History of man, one way or another, has a way of affecting us one way or another because it recycles itself. It's a perpetual. Everything's on a damn perpetual. But some people actually just don't bother thinking about that one. Sometimes I don't have enough time talking to a therapist. Some of the stuff that's really bugging the shit out of me. Pardon my language. It's easy enough to get bogged down by the external politics or someone else's opinions out there and think they're above everything else. Yeah. It depends on what the hell's going on inside their head and the heart at this point. Yeah. It's hard enough trying to lock it down. Trying to narrow it down for people just to tell them about what's going on. I know for a few videos I've been doing on, I've been really depressed and had thought. That's why I kept trying to talk about the damn thing because I didn't want to do the actions on it. Is there a fun thing to think about the final pathway, you know? Especially when I keep hearing people doing that all the damn time. And other people just don't get it. It's never fun. And seeing people being pushed like this. There was, I don't know if I had sent you the video or the video clip on that one. News sources on that. About 764. 764. You talk about being emotionally disturbed at that point? Holy crap, Rev. I was reading some of this stuff, and it reminded me of some of the other psychotic stuff I came across a decade earlier they were talking about. One that would really make you want to retch. There's this one weird face that was being passed around in YouTube. Not in YouTube, but in the internet. The kids would follow this thing. A made up looking voice or face that was worse than Saw or any of its characterizations of that creepy character. Angular face with a weird ass googly eyes with a computer modified voice on there that would just sounds like fingernails on a blackboard talking at you. And then you have the hypnotic wheel of the black and white thing rolling around. The spinning wheel stuff. And this thing would drive people crazy. People would listen to the damn thing and then just freak out. I saw the damn thing and made me want to throw up. That's the kind of situation I feel when I was came across the 764 stuff, satanic cult or something like that out there, convincing kids to kill themselves, for us to gain your trust. Hang on a second. Mama's calling. Easy does, girl. Easy does it. I gotta check. I gotta check. Oh, tell me something I don't already know. Tell me something I don't already know, Ma. I know. I'm the same way too. I'll take you down. I'll put you down. Check you already. Thanks. Easy does it. Alright, switch down. No, give me some more. I know, honey. I know. Yeah. That's up down now. I drop. Alright, alright. Give me a second, will you? Take you out. Sorry about that, Rev. Our dog seems to be having her own little conniption fit. Dog gets dementia and she forgets that this old woman is trying to be a puppy, and sometimes I worry about her body breaking her because her spirit in her mind keeps flip flopping from being an old woman and then thinking she's a spring chicken. As long as I'm up, she's going to continue doing this. Sorry for losing track like that. She must be obeyed. That's me and Ma sometimes. Yeah. She is about 18, 19, I think. But she is showing signs of old age. A little more gray in her hair. But she still thinks she's a puppy, and I think that's a dementia kicking her ass on that one. She was whining at me because she didn't know where I was. I'm afraid to go back to school because I don't know what's going to happen with my dog. Right now, she's trying to pretend that she's active and fit. I hope so. I hate to lose her outside, though. It's happened to me before a couple of times. And it was never fun losing a dog out in that kind of situation. Dog versus car. Yeah. It kind of haunts a person for a long while. Even when I start seeing, or not started seeing, I've been seeing it for a while. Dogs getting nailed left and right by cars. One of them kind of got attached to, and it wasn't even mine, it was the neighbor's. A bit of a mongrel, but this tried to be a little bit of a monster, but wasn't. Sweet dog in its own way, but nobody liked this dog except me, and it wasn't even mine. Dog get nailed by a car spat out. Nobody reacted except for me. I had warned the neighbors who owned the dog. Keep the dog on a leash. Keep him safe. It's a free dog. It's in God's hands. Yeah, it definitely was put in God's hands. And they didn't cry over him. That was the only asshole that did. Alright, she is freaking me out too much tonight. I guess we'll pick this one up a little bit later, Rev. She has not given me any reason. Will you lay down already? Damn it. I'll talk at you later, Rev.